Hey guys. Well, listen. I was looking at the scriptures ahead of us, and there is. We're gonna do. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's just see what happens. Let's go to chapter 12, where we're gonna get introduced to Abram. Okay. Now, to be fair with you, this is chapter 12. 12 is an intervention number. All right. So what in 12, 12, because you would put two and three together and you get three. All right. Two and one, one and two together, you get three. The Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from their kindred, from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show you. It's number one. And I will make thee a great nation. I will bless thee, and I will make thee a great name, and thou shalt be a blessing. Number two. Remember, the great name is what happens to us when we're on the inside. He's wanting him to show him a place where a good thing can happen to him. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee. In thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. This is number three. And he's the star of the show. Okay. And four, so Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. This departing means that you separated from yourself to go over onto this to talk. In order to be with God, you have to be in this kind of dream state situation where you're in a spiritual thing. It just doesn't come right out there and yell at you. All right. So 5 starts off a new set of worlds. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substances they had gathered, and all the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. This is number 5. 5 is representing, this is the outside world. This is what's underneath the sun. Remember? This is sun and moon, stars and heaven. All right. So that was 5. 6 is going to bring us back here. This is usually a good spot, but he doesn't know about this place yet. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, and unto the place of More, and unto the Canaanite was then in the land, and the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said, unto thy seed I will give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. This is 7. He built him an altar. All right. And then 8. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and something on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. This is, he's gone on to the inside. Remember, he separated already from his father and all his business. He is already in a dream state. He is on his way. He's doing his works. He hasn't, gone all the way around yet, because he hasn't gotten the breath of the Lord. He hasn't gone to the Lord's day. So this is as far as we get right now, is 6. 6 is, 6 is the top of the ladder. He made it over to the other side yet. Okay. It's not how that works yet. So here was 8 showing up over here. He's pitching his tent, and he's pitching this on the east side of Bethel. All right. So Bethel's going to be the lower side, and this is going to be a higher side. Now we get to the new one. Abram journeyed, going on still towards the south. That's not going towards the east. He's going towards the south. He's going further away. He's going further away from this place. And where he came from where his father's comes from the Earl of Chaldees. So this particular place is the Earl. This is that house, that place that we come to meet. This is that particular part of us that's inherited at this particular time, or inhabited by thieves and robbers. All right, that's what happens. And he's coming out of where his father was. He's coming out of that place. He wants to get out of this place. So in order to get out of that place, he is sent on this journey by God, and he's going to be promised a particular thing from doing this, what he said, to get away from his father's place. And so here on 9, the journey begins. And there was a famine in the land. That means that this business here of our Kundalini system, to be able to go up and meet her and to eat from our own snacks and our own things, which is the Kundalini with the flour and the honeycomb and all this business. There was a famine in the land. This is where water in the second phase of things. And Abram went down to Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And then we come to 11. This is the famine. This is this idea of being able to reach God or not, or water, what replenishes the earth. There is a famine. There is something, there's no God, there's no connection. And then we come over here to this next slide here. It says, and it came to pass when he came near to the end of Egypt, that he said to Sarah his wife, behold, to Sarai, behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. This is number 11. So this is about an outside look, that you are beautiful. Therefore it shall come to pass when the Egyptians shall see thee, that they shall say, this is his wife, and they shall kill me. But they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, that thou art my sister. And this is an outside thing, instead of being a wife. Say to thee that they are my sister, that it may be well for me and for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abram had come home from Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The woman always would come into this here. This being the wife is like just pleasing. This is what happens with religion later on. This is that strange woman. She also is very pleasing to the eye. All right, so that's this one. This is, the princess also, the Pharaoh, saw her and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house. This one here. And he entreated Abram well for her sake. And he had sheep and oxen and asses and men servants and maid servants, all the asses and camels. 14, 15, 16. This is our last one. So he got to go to the boss, to the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh had everything. All right. And this is wonderful. All right. And so next we have the final 4. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues because of Sarai, Abram's wife. And Pharaoh called Abram and said, what is this that thou hast done to me? Why hast thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou she was my sister, so I might have taken her to be to my wife? her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her, and go thy way. And the last one, and Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away and his wife and all that he had. So during this first part of the story, when we meet Abram and Abraham, we can see that God has favored them. But the idea that he tricked, this was, there's always some kind of a trick in these situations where he's going to inherit something from this meeting. And over here is where he met up with Pharaoh. This is where she met Pharaoh. Pharaoh would mean maybe the father, the boss. And while she was with him, got all these wonderful things, got favors, got all of these things came from this meeting, of her meeting with father. This was a good thing, making like it was her sister instead. All right. But anyways, the way it works out is that he then is kicked out of there. He's kicked out. This is if you can remember, this is what happens when Jacob steals the inheritance from his brother, right? And what happens is his brother then takes off after him. He's mad at him. He's taken, he's it's another situation where there was a famine in the land, right? With that particular story too. It just means that there's no connection to God. And there is still no connection to God in this first part of this story. As we read in it, we're just finding that Abram and Abraham and his brother Lot, they're going together. Now Lot becomes this guy in the middle. When it comes down to it, Lot is the gatekeeper. All right, it's going to be really interesting as we go through the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. But there's only 20 on this one, so it goes by pretty fast. And let's see if we can get more out of the next chapter, chapter 13. You put those numbers together and we get our world out of it, another world. And Abram went up and out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, Lot with him, into the south. So they're still going down. They're on their way down. They've come from a high spot and they are working their way down. Okay? Or we do it like this, do it more like this. The whole story is them coming from a higher place or coming from a place and then leaving. They keep going further and further and further south. All right? Abram was very rich. Now he's very rich in cattle and silver and gold. And when he went on his journey from the south, even Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning between Bethel and Ai, all right, unto the place of the altar which he had made the first. And Abram called on the name of the Lord. This is when he first called on the name of the Lord. Again, we wind up in the same place. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents. And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. And substance was great, and that they could not dwell together. All right, so the two sides could not hang out together. All right. 7. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanites and the Perizzites dwelled there in the land. That means there was probably something going on. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between you and me, and between my herdsmen and thy herdsmen, for we are brethren. That's number 8. Abram is looking for level ground between the two of them. They want both sides to be even. That's what number 8 means. Number 8 has to do with control, and that's what they want. You're with us. We're all together. So as we move on with our consciousness, being uh, uh, constantly battling with itself. It is not the whole land before thee. That's right here. This is number 9. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself. I pray thee, from me. Separate yourself from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right hand. Or you depart to the right hand, I will go to the left. This is number 9. 9 is a conscious number. Which side of this do you want to go on? The right-hand side or the left-hand side? I'll tell you the right-hand side is the side that you want as the good side. So if they can't both dwell at the same time, there's going to be a separation between them. All right, so you take up one side. This says, so if thou wilt take the left hand, I will go to the right. Or if you depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. All right, so it's still showing you it's one way or the other, and that's an inside or an outside approach. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zor. All right, now this is 10. This is number 10. It's right here. Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. This is before the Lord destroyed. Everything's going along beautifully. Sodom and Gomorrah are both these two places. This is Sodom, earth. Gomorrah is the belief system. All right, what gives us power? This is blasphemy and all that other business, the ball and everything. All right. 11. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves from one another. That's number 11. Now, this means that he's taken the higher road. This is Lot. He's actually taken the middle road. All right. And then 12, Abraham dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain. That's in the middle, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. Pitched his tents towards this side. That means he's to the west. All right. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord. That's this one, number 13. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord exceedingly. All right. Let's keep going. But the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord. And the Lord said unto Abram, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up thine eyes and look from this place, from there art northward and southward and eastward and westward. That's number 14. Look everywhere. Look all around you. I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. This is number 16. All right, 12, 13, 14, 16. The last one is 16. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth. All right. So the land as we see it, this is number 15. This is our body. So take this. This is the land as we see it. That's everything. This is the outside world. That's what this represents. All right. That's number 13. Wait, no. Number 14. 15, no. It's number 15. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. 15. This is to give yourself. This is the land that you're being promised, is your body, yourself. That's what you're being promised. It's this one right here. I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth. that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. It's going to be 16. And then we got 2 left over, which is arise, walk through the land, the length of it and the breadth of it, for I will give it unto thee. This is the land, the mind. Go to the length and the breadth of it. I will give it all to you. And then Abraham removed his tent. This is here. Then Abraham removed his tent and came and dwelt in the plain of Mamre and whatever Hebron, and built there an altar unto the Lord. So this is number 18, or which would represent a 9. So we have 8, which is a control number. Arise and walk through the land, and I will give you the breadth of it, and I will give it all unto thee. It's a control number. 17 represents 8. And it's asking you, come on, get up, wake around this. He's still in this meditation situation. But here he says, but Abraham removed his tent. That means he woke up, and he came and dwelt in the plain. This is in the middle land. This is in the middle place. He came to dwell in the middle ground. That's what this is represented in the midst. So he hasn't come out of it yet. And built there an altar unto the Lord. He hasn't gone any further from this, and he still is not really woken up out of this dream. That's what this is. He's still here. All right. Let's do. Let's just chop this one, and I can't even see how long it's been going on. But anyways, as we've been doing this now, you're following this system as we're going, and it's going to tell us a little bit more about this story and how it's really about our mind and not about real people on earth. All right, so I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to start back up again on the next chapter. All right.